Hello guys, today we have another treat. It's Asus TUF Gaming 3090 and we will be changing thermal pads and thermal paste to see if we can prevent this card from thermal throttling while maxing out on the hash rate. So let's see how it performs first and then we will open the card. And as you can see, we are using these settings with 1500 memory clock to the max, power limit 100%. And the card is throttling between 100 and 4 degrees. Maybe if you push the fan a bit more, it would be better. It usually goes between 110 and 120 throttling. So we will change the thermal pads and the thermal paste and see if we can get this card to stop throttling. And let's open it up. So we start with removing all the screws on the back, and we can leave this plastic here for SLI. We don't need to remove it. Let's go. Make sure to place screws somewhere where you will not lose them, or mix them up so you know which screw goes where, because I don't think they're all the same. These 4 screws are holding the main radiator to cool the core, and the other 4, these 4 are for the second radiator to cool the memory on front. As you already know, I am not a big fan of this 2 separate radiators design. I think it's really bad for cooling the memory, but let's see if we can improve that. So here we are. It's really dusty. I will not remove the fans. I don't think I have to. At least I will try not to. The pads seem okayish, not as bad as on Gigabyte, but not that good either. It's really weird because here, if you can see, it looks like this was damaged, but this is the first time this card is open, so probably in the factory or something. Okay, let's remove the second radiators. They can be really stuck, so be very careful. And these are the memory pads, and this is full of dust, so I will clean this up, remove all the residues, and now you can unscrew the screws for the backplate, to remove the backplate. I'm also not a big fan of the cards where you have to open everything just to remove the backplate, but most of new cards are like that. gets not a little, it gets a lot sticky, so you need to apply some force, but be careful so you don't break the board. And as you can see, this all needs to be cleaned, and we will replace all of these thermal pads. So now I'll go and cut the pads to the dimension, and we'll be back soon with some pads. I cleaned the front of the card and the big heatsink. Almost done, and then backplate, and then put the thermal pads. You're gonna need 3 different kind of thermal pads. You'll need 1.5 millimeter at 2 millimeters and a small piece of 3 millimeters. I will show you as I put them back which one is which. Okay, make sure you clean everything nicely. These pads are very sticky. This alcohol is not cleaning them that well. And okay, to fix the backplate. So the backplate we cleaned as best as possible because these thermal pads are really sticky and really difficult to clean. So we cleaned the chips and the backplate itself. I'm not changing these thermal pads, I think they're fine. I'm just changing these ones for the memory, so I will apply the thermal pads now. Here we put 1.5 millimeter, on the back we put 2 millimeters, this is 1.5. And again, the brand of thermal pads is Gillid or Gelid, or I don't know how this is pronounced actually. I should learn because I use all of their products. Ultimate. And yeah. Cover this. And the last tiny one. Here we have this is 2 millimeters. 1 millimeter of thermal pad here for this kind of these chips here. I'm guessing no, it's for these chips here. So you can mount the first heatsink back. That is for the memory. Hold in place. and screw back the screws. It's not as easy like this, so I will have to remove the fans after all, which I didn't want to do. And this is exactly why I didn't want to do that. Hold, rotate, make sure it fits into place for all the screws. Put the screws back. As you can see, I have 3 hands. It's very useful when doing this kind of things. You should grow another hand if you want to do this. But now I can put this down because it's almost there. These thermal pads are everywhere, so difficult to clean. Put all 6 screws back. So the heatsink, the first heatsink is in place now. Now to move to the big one. But first to put some thermal paste, we will use MX4 Arctic. Make sure you spread it nicely. Hopefully you have something to spread with. I don't. I forgot it, so I will try it with SLI cover. Kids, do not try this at home. Good enough. So on the front 2 millimeters, 2 millimeters, 2 millimeters, 1 millimeter here. The size you can measure with caliper or something. I don't remember the size anymore. And we will put back the main heatsink. First plug in the fans, if there is anything left to be plugged in. You cannot probably see this, but I'm plugging in the fans back and the LED light most likely. And now let's see how to put this back. Let's hope I hit all the holes, which I did. That's good. We have a piece of thermal pads sticking out here, so we can start actually with the main part, or actually we can cut this thermal pad that's sticking out first. I think this will be enough. You don't screw one screw completely, you go them all four a little bit at a time. Make sure you tighten the screws. And now we can screw the rest of them. And that's it. Easy, right? Now let's see what we did and if we managed to improve this at all or not. Hopefully we did, at least on the memory. That's what's important for us. Okay, let's put this into the computer and test it. Sadly, I recorded this video like 6 months ago, and I lost the final part. I don't know where it is, and the rest of the video is also, the contrast is messed up, but I decided to publish it since I did the video and maybe somebody finds it useful. The end result is that there was a slight improvement in performance, uh, um, but not significant because the card was maybe 3 months old. So if you have Asus TUF 3090, I would not recommend changing the pads immediately, like it is for some other cards like Gigabyte, because the thermal pads are good enough, and you cannot. It's just not worth the work. So maybe after 2 or 3 years, where the thermal pad starts showing signs of degrading, but not on the new card. But I hope that this video is useful for people that actually have a need to change the thermal pads on this card. And if you like the video, please share, like, and subscribe, and see you soon.